The Hyundai Tucson, along with many others in the compact crossover class, are one of the mainstream choices for a family vehicle. Even though the Tucson isn't one of the best-selling vehicles in the class of compact crossovers, it is certainly a much more competitive vehicle this year with an all-new chassis, look, and features. So, let's go ahead and check out this 2016 Hyundai Tucson Sport. Now, in terms of styling, for starters, the Tucson now looks more chiseled, much more handsome and good looking, and is less bulbous looking too. And here's the outgoing model for the Tucson. As you can see, it's much more bulbous, and the styling is more in line with Hyundai's recent products like the Sonata. And I really do love the sport model in that we get these 19-inch alloy wheels. I think they're really handsome and good looking. Gives it a nice sporty added touch. But I really do love the front grille for the new Tucson. Now here goes the key fob for the vehicle. Very high quality looking key fob design, love it. You have your lock, your unlock, and then your power tailgate, and then your panic button too. Now it is the chromium silver exterior color with smart key access on the driver's door and the front passenger door. We also do have a full-on gray cloth interior. Power driver seat with power recline and power lumbar too. Now stepping on inside of the new Tucson here, the step-in height is fairly good and fairly low too. And you're greeted with a very stylish cabin. However, I don't really feel that there's anything sporty about this interior, even though we do have the sport model. However, it's still a very stylish cabin overall, and high quality looking too. Now, Hyundai said that they made the new Tucson 3 inches longer, as well as 1 inch wider too. And this resulted in more interior space, which is very important for the compact crossover class. And this interior does feel much more roomier inside of here. Now you do have push button ignition. Just put your foot on the brake and hit the button to start. And what you were hearing there was a 1.6 liter inline turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. Now you do have a full leather wrap steering wheel. Coming to your transmission, you have an all-new 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. They finally got rid of that old, kind of dated 6-speed automatic gearbox. It does have manual shiftability, however no paddle shifters here, even though we do have the sport model. Putting the vehicle into reverse displays your rear view camera, of course. And it does have trajectory, which is nice. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on the lights. We do have fogs and the hazards. Automatic driver's side window. And I'm going to go ahead and pop up the hood, check out the engine bay. Heated exterior mirrors with LED turn signal indicators. We also do have blind spot detection. "19-inch alloy wheels. Projector beam headlights with LED accenting lights, and you also do have halogen fog lights. Love the new hexagonal grille from Hyundai. Now under the hood we have a 1.6 liter inline turbocharged 4-cylinder. This is 175 horsepower at 5,500 RPM and 195 pound-feet of torque at 1,500 RPM. With EPA estimates being a decent 25 in the city and 30 on the highway. Now your base powertrain is a 2-liter 4-cylinder. Now even though there is the option for the new 7-speed automatic, they do have the old 6-speed automatic as standard equipment on the Tucson. All-wheel drive, of course, is optional. And this powertrain does provide a decent amount of power. It's not as lackluster as the 2-liter. Now pricing for the Tucson starts at the SE model, which starts at $22,700. The Eco model which boosts fuel economy up to 26 city, 33 highway, and it comes with a 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. It starts at $24,150. The sport model, like how we have here, starts at $26,150. The limited starts at $29,900, and then there's some packages that you can choose from too. Competitors on the Tucson, it competes with the Ford Escape, the Toyota RAV4, Nissan Rogue, as well as the Chevrolet Equinox and the Kia Sportage. Now, even though the interior isn't all that sporty, I really do love the wheels. They do look quite sporty in my opinion. Now, if you do look closely, if you compared this Tucson with the old Tucson side by side, you can really tell that this vehicle is much longer than the old one. Coming to the rear, it's very stylish. You have a rear window wiper with a rear window defroster, and I love how they did the chrome exhaust tips. Very unique looking. And you also do have rear reflectors. EPA estimates, like I said, are 25 city, 30 highway. Total vehicle price is $27,320. All of your basic power necessities: power windows, door locks, power mirrors. Let's go ahead and see how that turbocharged 4-cylinder sounds. Now, build quality and materials inside of the Tucson are okay. Certainly not the best in the class. I'd say the best in the class is certainly the Ford Escape. Up here on the upper door panel, very surprised. Hard touch plastic. Mid door panel is also hard touch too. Only soft touch placed is the armrest. Very cheap feeling plastics here. And on the dashboard, of course, it's going to be hard plastic. The graining of the plastics are okay. At least they don't have a super scratchy feeling to them. But it's all pretty much hard plastic here. Nothing's really soft to the touch. Now, the center console is at least soft to the touch. Build quality is actually pretty excellent inside of here. Not many interior trims and pieces creak a whole lot. Everything seems to fit well together for the most part. Down here we have a little storage cubby, and then that's where you will find your auxiliary input and your USB port, and then two 12-volt power outlets. Little storage cubby right here as well, and dual cup holders. Then right here you have your downhill descent control and then your different drive modes. Center console, there's nothing located in here really, except for storage space. The storage space is pretty good, I have to say. Up here we have your manually dimming rearview mirror, sunglass container, and your map lights. Headliner is at least very high quality feeling, pretty plush. Coming to the steering wheel design, very stylish steering wheel. Love Hyundai's new steering wheel designs here. We have your Bluetooth phone controls, your steering wheel mounted audio controls, as well as your voice recognition. Very basic stuff nowadays. We also do have your cruise control over here, and then this button right here controls your little color information display, which I'll get to in a second. We also do have your intermittent windshield wipers right here. The AC controls on the Tucson are very clearly labeled with big knobs and big buttons. You have your fan speeds, your different zones, and then your temperatures are right here too. We also do have heated seats. That's actually pretty interesting since we do have cloth seats. You really don't find that on too many vehicles. We also do have your front window defroster and your rear window defroster as well. Coming over here we have your gauge brightness, illumination, and then your blind spot detection, and then your traction control off button, and then your power tailgate. There's also many optional safety technologies that you can get on the Tucson, such as lane departure warning, adaptive cruise control, all of that good stuff. Now coming to the main head unit here, we do have the base head unit. It's a little basic radio system. It is a touchscreen, however. We do have AM, FM, and then XM satellite radio, of course. The responsiveness is superb. I also do love the rendering and graphics on this little touchscreen right here too. I wouldn't say it's the most simple or easy to use system, however, but once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. Of course, you have your phone. You can hook up your Bluetooth and then have all of your contacts stored on here, and then an integrated dial pad too. Your different media sources do include a CD player still. Some cars are getting rid of that nowadays. You also do have your USB port, auxiliary input, and then your Bluetooth streaming audio, all of the norm. Coming to setup, you can change many different things like the display, brightness, mode pop-up, media display, sound, phone settings if you want to pair up a phone, system, clock and calendar, all that good stuff. Now coming to the gauges are okay. I think that the speedometer, I think the font needs to be just a little bit bigger. It's kind of hard to read. And then you also do have your tach over here. And then coming to that little color information display, basically shows you much of your vehicle information here. We do have your fuel range, and like I said, it's all controlled by this button right here. And then it shows you what radio station you're on or what song is playing. Your user settings like your driver assistance, door, lights, sound. You also do have your trip odometer right here. You also do have a digital speedometer. I love how vehicles are doing that nowadays. Very nice. As far as visibility goes in the Tucson, it's certainly not the best in the class, but it's not the worst either. There's a decent amount of side glass area. Outward visibility is okay, but when you get to rearward visibility, it really gets compromised due to that little rear quarter window and the huge seat pillar. Very big blind spot back there. The seats are actually fairly comfortable, especially for cloth seats too. They provide lots of support. I'm very surprised on how comfortable these seats are. Thigh support is also excellent too. Certainly would take this vehicle on a long road trip. The headrests are decently plush too. Now the Tucson hasn't always been the best entertaining vehicle to drive in the class, and just like many other Hyundais, it's kind of a little dull in its driving character, but it's not too shabby. It provides a decent amount of feedback to the driver, and the handling is okay, but it's certainly not the most entertaining vehicle to drive. If you're looking for a real legitimate sporty compact crossover, then I would certainly check out the Mazda CX-5. The steering is fairly light and fairly numb. It's fairly easy to drive, and many people should pick up driving this vehicle real quick, and it should satisfy most buyers when driving this vehicle. Now, we do have your different drive modes, like I said earlier in the video. We do have your eco mode and then your sport mode too. But to be honest, I never really noticed a huge difference between the two, or just even the normal mode. However, the eco mode is certainly going to be your most fuel efficient setting, and then the sport mode is supposed to be the sportiest setting on the Tucson. However, the steering doesn't really tighten up or anything, and the throttle response doesn't change at all too much either. Alright, and let's go ahead and check out the rest of the vehicle. Let's go ahead and shut it down. Build quality and materials certainly do follow through in the rear. At least you still have a nice soft touch armrest. We also do have manual recline back here, which is nice. Now, since the Honda CR-V is the best-selling vehicle in the class, it's also the roomiest vehicle in the class too. And if the Tucson really wanted to compete very well with the Honda CR-V, they really needed to create a much more roomy interior. And they did succeed. We do have dual mat pockets back here. We also do have rear armrests with cup holders. It's very comfortable back here, I have to say, much more comfortable than the outgoing model. And I have lots of headroom and a decent amount of legroom to spare too. This is where my driving position would be. I'm about 5'11". Overall, it's a very comfortable experience back here, much better than the outgoing model. Pretty impressed. Alright. Now coming to the cargo area, it's much roomier than the outgoing model. We also do have a 12-volt power outlet back here. To fold down the rear seats, it is pretty easy. But it's not as easy as, say, like the CR-V with its little lever that you just pull on and the seats come right down. But it's still fairly easy to do. But the most important part is that the Tucson did get increased cargo space for the 2016 model year. Like I said, we also do have a power tailgate. Full manual passenger seat. Glove box compartment. So the Tucson is still very good looking and very sleek in its styling. However, it now even has a much more roomier and comfortable interior too, as well as increased cargo space. And there's also many features available on the Tucson as well. However, if you are looking for a compact crossover with a little more entertaining driving experience, you may want to look elsewhere. So remember that this is Cameron Birch from Cameron's Car Reviews.